Content disclaimer. The views, comments, and opinions expressed by guest speakers or authors on this YouTube channel do not necessarily reflect or represent the views and opinions held by this channel's broadcasters and its sponsors. Parental guidance is advised. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teachers, scholarship, education, and research. For fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringed.
Greetings. Enter to win 500 grams of silver grains. The 100 subscriber to banksilver.org will win 500 grams of silver 0.999 grams.
Did you ever wonder if your birth date holds information about your destiny? Why you keep seeing the same number or several numbers? Welcome to Numbers Are Simple, People Are Complicated. I am your host, King Simon. Numbers are not here to control you, they're here to give you guidance. It's time for you to be able to read the numbers.
Hi, I'm Lloyd Strayhorn, inviting you to heal with the numbers and cards in person at the Circle of Cosmic Consciousness Retreat in New Orleans. Go to stshealing.com to learn from the Masters, Aquarius Maximus, King Simon, Nina Diamond, Jazz Aphrodite, and myself. Don't forget, New Orleans, August 17th through the 20th at the Cosmic Consciousness Retreat. Register now at stshealing.com. That's stshealing.com. See you there.
Billy Carson here, aka Forbidden Knowledge. I want to talk to you about an amazing event. It's the Forbidden Conscious Awards going down in Miami, July 30th, 2023. Go to forbiddenknowledge.com where you can pay for tickets. We're giving away 12 amazing awards. We're also going to give away an Audi A4 live at the event with big celebrity guests like Havoc from Mobb Deep, myself, Forbidden Knowledge. Also, we'll have Dame Dash, performances by Donnie Arcade and Cruz. I want to see you there, July 30th, the Forbidden Conscious Awards.
It's the Numerovational Session with King Simon. Text your full name and date of birth to 347-496-1022. That's 347-496-1022. And get my books on Amazon now. Top of the morning. Oh yeah, feeling good. Feeling good. Yes. Grand rise to greatness. Grand rise to greatness. Grand rise to greatness. First and foremost, today is July the 6th, 2023. If you add it all the way across, it adds up to 20. Or it might break down to the number 2, depending on how you add it up. Happy birthday to Conjure Queen. Happy birthday to Conjure Queen. Today is her birthday. I've had her on my show. Brother Rich has had her on his show. Happy birthday to Conjure Queen. Happy birthday to Kevin Hart today. Today is Kevin Hart's birthday. Today is 50 Cent's birthday. Curtis Jackson, a.k.a. 50 Cents. Today his birthday. I've never met those two gentlemen, but I am inspired by their work ethics. I am inspired by Conjure Queen's work ethics. Anyone born under the 6th energy are not only workers, but they are willing to educate themselves to take themselves to the next level of their life. And Curtis Jackson, 50 Cent, when you watch him in interviews, he's a sight to see as far as to learn. Kevin Hart during interviews is a very good sight to see when it comes to learning things. Conjure Queen, from her perspective, is a sight to see from her perspective. So when you have the symbol of the number 6 connected to you in any way, and then especially if it shows up multiple times in your name, or it shows up multiple times in your birthday, or it shows up, look at that number wherever it shows up. Even if you were born on 1996 or you were born 1995 and it breaks down to a number 6, or your name adds up to a 6, or your name adds up to a 33, or your name adds up to 24. Whenever that 6 shows itself, education, learning, family, healing, sometimes hard-headedness, sometimes arrogance, that comes with the negative of the number 6. The willingness not to learn, not to love beauty, or not to be around beautiful things, when 6 is supposed to be around beautiful things and beautiful people. Even if you're born in the 6th month, pay attention to that 6. So today is the 6th. And this is a good spiritual enlightening year for all those born today, July 6th, 2023. When you add it across, that 7, which is July, plus the 6 equals 13. And that 13 plus the 7, 2023 adds up to a 7, equals 20. And once you understand that 20 is one of the extreme numbers of awareness and awakening, this day universally says that this is another cycle of, or another spiral of awakening to another level. And once you're able to sit down, and which is interesting because this morning I had a very interesting dream, which I will not discuss yet because it dealt with relationship, and it dealt with male and female experience. And I know it's something personal in my own life. That's why I'm not going to talk about it yet, but I will break it down. I haven't even written it down, but it's so clear in my head with certain situations that it has to be discussed, to the point that I had to look up things about boundaries. Because in relationships, we have to learn to establish healthy boundaries and respectful boundaries, not just for the person that you're in the relationship with, but people in general that is in your cycle, that is in your cipher. Your children, you have to have healthy relationships and let them understand healthy boundaries. Your mother, your father, this is a time of healthy boundaries when it comes to relationships. So the 2000s that we're in now, according to the Gregorian system, and because all of us are under it and all of us have complied to it, we can still use it to benefit us. We're right now 23 years in the 2000s, and 23 is still a young adult in this 2000 energy. We're still in a young adult phase. So even at the age of 23, most of us are still learning and finding ourselves. So we're in that 23rd year going into the 2024. But because this particular cycle is led by the 20 or the 2, it deals with sensitivity, it deals with balance, it deals with finding harmony in whatever you do, and it also deals with being in tune with the balance between the two energies of the masculine and the feminine. This time, the feminine in this particular cycle is the dominant, or not the dominant, but more on the, you'd say it's the leading energy, but yet man, the masculine energy has to support it and learn to understand it and understand it, as well as the feminine has to be willing to stay open and understand the masculine energy so they can bring a certain amount of balance moving forward in any relationship. And boundaries, healthy boundaries, should be taught to your children in the so-called formative years. And some of our children are either fast with learning and some of our children are slow. I got it. And there's something I'm going to discuss in the next coming days in the month of July of what I've seen, because still, like I said, on July 1st on my IG, what I said is that the month of July adds up to a number 11, which eventually breaks down to a number 2 in the Chaldean system of numerology. And this is the quote unquote 7-month only because of Julius Caesar adding his self, adding his ego to the calendarship. And we've been resonating with that ever since. And Augustus, one of his relatives, did the same thing. They added those months, July and August, to serve their ego because they wanted to be like the gods or the deities that they seen coming out of Kemet and all that. And by all means, know that the calendar system did not come from Greek and Rome. They changed names and they manipulated things, but it did not come from Greek, did not come from Rome, it did not come from Europe. Understand, the first established calendars did not come from people that was less melanated. It came from people that was highly melanated, that look like me and others that are my complexion, probably a little lighter or darker. So, because today is not only the 6th of the month, which represents balance, finding truth, justice, balance, and healing, not just within yourself, but with others, within the very cells that are within us or that surround us. I like what Dr. Shakira Moore was saying on my show yesterday, bless her heart, about your cell and the way she said your about your cell. The title of the show, which was your greater self is waiting on you. Your greatest self, or your greater self, is waiting on you. And she spelled the word self, CELLF, emphasizing on the cellular level of understanding who and understanding who and overstanding who you are. CELLF, self. And I like that. I like that self better than I like the SELF, because that SELF has the elf, S elf, but it means something. But I'm not going to get into the etymology of that word self from the C, not from the SELF perspective. But I did like what what Dr. Shakira Moore dropped on the YouTube channel last night, about your greater self, CELLF, because it encompasses all of the cells in your body that it needs to
be aware of your greater self on a deeper cellular level, but it has to become second nature or first nature. It's just like numbers with me now. It's like first nature. It's first nature for me. It's no longer second nature. It's first nature. That everything I see that catches my eye, I look for the mathematics in it. I look for the numerical value in it. I'm not a mathematician. Let's not get it twisted. I'm not fast at adding and subtracting and multiplying and doing algebra. No, I am a numerovator. I use one of the disciplines of one of the metaphysics arts of numerology to identify the goal and the need for it to activate when I see person, place, or things around me now, more now than ever. Even in my dreams, if I start dreaming about certain people and dreaming about certain family members that either alive or transition, I look at their mathematical frequency. If I've dreamt about Farrakhan, I've dreamt about Dr. Khalid before, I've dreamt about my grandmother, my late great-grandmother, my great-grandmother. I've dreamt about people around me or people that I don't even recognize. But yet I always go and look to decipher the recordings of my mind that came out of the dream, what we call the dream world. And because we're in a 7-11 month, and those that did not watch that live when I broke down July, and it also equating to the number 11 in the mystical older system of numerology, this is a 7-11 month. And when 7-11 appears, when 7-11 appears, 7 and 11 are two of the most spiritually interpreted numbers next to the other master number 11, master number 22, and master number 33, and all the other master numbers. But 7 is one of the definitive numbers of secrets being revealed or secrets being concealed. The number 2 is also like that too. That's why 11 adds up to the number 2. But 11 is the master number of revelation, things coming to light, and people seeing the light on another level. That's why people born under the number 11 in history have been very, very, very good at revealing what is necessary for the world to deal with. And from a local history, I can point out certain people that born under the number 11. I could point out Mary J. Blige. I could point out Paul Goss. Those who know the health realm, the holistic health realm, Paul Goss was an extremely powerful person. Mary J. Blige born January 11th. Paul Goss born February 11th, alongside Kelly Rowland. She's a very deeply intuitive person. So is Mary J. Blige. But they come with relationship issues. That number 11, the negative of the number 11 is because they are so highly intuitive and they pick up on so many things, but they also give people the benefit of doubt, but they also got to be very careful of either deceiving people or being deceived by people. Thus, Mary J. Blige got deceived by her own husband, especially when it comes to relationship, people closest to you. I have 11 in my vowels. All the vowels in my birth name adds up to a number 11. The A, E, I, O, U, and sometimes Y adds up to that number 11. So my inner spirit is to pay attention to. That's why I can see beyond. When people text me or email me or call me, I can see right through the bull crap.
And if I choose to entertain the bullcrap, that's me choosing to entertain the bullcrap. But then I can also flip it on them and deceive them and act and show them that, yeah, that I might be entertaining it. Because my spirit has already told me, because the vibration that 11 and those master numbers shows up. When those intuitive numbers like the 2, the 7, the 11, the master numbers, anything that adds up to the master numbers, whether it's born on the 29th or whatever, anything that adds up to 33 or 22, those are the people that are supposed to tap in and trust their intuition, because it's their intuition that is the true spiritual or energetic, spiritually energetic guiding system. So today universally adds up to a number 20. And like I was saying, people born connected to those 2s or those 11s or those 7s or those master numbers, they have to trust their intuition. Now, I'm not born with 11 strongly in my chart, but when I added up my full name, my birth certificate name, the vowels, the A-E-I-O-U, which represents the quote unquote soul urge, some people may say, the inner urge, the inner them, the insightful them that should pay attention to insight from all levels. That is the vowels in my lane. And if you know anything about things like Meduneter or Arabic or Hebrew or any older languages, you'll find that the vowels are missing, because that represents the inner language, the inner source of who or that what that word is, or what that symbol represents, that name or whatever. So you find Kemet, everybody will write K-M-T, only the consonants. And then when you add it, it either says Kamat or it says Kemet or Kamat, depending on what language you're coming with or what vowel you're adding. And then they studied it and then called it Grimm's, is it Grimm's law of, no, that's Grimm's law of consonants, but there's a law of vowels where vowels are interchangeable when you start studying. And remember, anything that we did as melanated people, anything that we did as melanated people became a study, because melanated people are the most widely studied beings on and off this planet. Let me say that again. Melanated people, ancient till now, are the most studied people on this planet, on and off the planet, because there are ancestors that left here and that are connected to us beyond this planet. The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad called it the motherships, the mother plane. And he said, matter of fact, in his lessons, the mother plane was built right here on Earth and then shipped out, according to his lessons. So science is just catching up. This so-called scientific world is really just catching up to what Elijah Muhammad, or what his teacher, Master Fard Muhammad, who was a mulatto person who was mixed with black and white. That's the teachings. That's the teachings. I can't say if it's right or wrong, but the information when it came down to the mathematics was near right and exact, or near, I forgot what was this, how they said it, because it was baby languages, those and those. But going back to the subject, although I didn't write a subject. In this month, family, because we're in the sacrificial months, July, August, September, October, November, the acronym is Jason. We're in the Jason months of sacrifice. It's time to sacrifice yourself, those around you, and not sacrificing yourself like, going to take yourself out and none of that kind of stuff. I'm talking about sacrificing the drama to bring forth peace, having a peace of mind. There's nothing better in this time than to have a peace of mind in your relationships, in your business relationships, with your children's relationships. There's nothing better than having a peace of mind. And if you're not right now having a peace of mind, a peace, not a PEICE, a peace in mind, PEACE, then you'll find yourself not sleeping throughout the night. You find yourself dreaming all kinds of wild stuff that can be that is usually a learning lesson for the awakened part of your day. Something that you need to pay attention, especially in the month of July, because it is a 7-11 month. Doing more meditation is important, or just sitting still, turning off the light. Too much, Dr. Blair, may he rest in peace, born February 13th, 1933. Dr. Blair, may he rest in peace, born February 13th, 1933. He used to teach us about the elf. Taught us about elf. I don't know any of you that's been on here who ever heard Dr. Blair or ever watched him on YouTube after he transitioned, or before he or ever came to one of the lectures that I produced, because I was the last person to produce a lecture with him in New York. Dr. Blair taught about elf. Elf was extra low frequency. Extra low frequency. Dr. Blair taught about that. That's why it's important that you turn off certain electrical appliances or electrical things when you're in your room. Before you go to bed, so you can get the full gamut of that dark matter that's 95% in the universe. You want to get the dark matter. Look at the deers. The deers are just sitting down there, just chilling. Getting the full gamut of that dark matter. And I know some people are afraid of the dark. They've been taught to be afraid of this thing called the dark, or the shadow hours. Some people are afraid of it, and I understand. But being afraid of the dark is like being afraid of your eyelids when you close your eyes, like I'm closing my eyes now. Being afraid of the dark is like being afraid of the back of your eyelids. You've been doing it all this time. Learn to overcome that fear, because everything you want to accomplish is on the other side of fear. And once you overcome the fear of that shadow side or that dark side, when you go to sleep or going into the next realm to tap in, because that's where you'll develop, over time, you can develop your DMT connection, where a lot of people are taking psychedelics, and it's like psychedelics now is becoming like it's becoming like chewing gum right now, and marijuana, it's becoming like everybody can get it right now. Everybody can get some shrooms. Everybody can microdose. Everybody want the quick fix. I'm not against it. I just don't take it. I've tapped in without it and still tapping it, because it is a discipline. It's becoming undisciplined right now. And I've had ex-girlfriends try to push it on me. I've had friends try to push it on me and say I should do this and I should do that. And
if I put my mind to it, because the mind is what you're allowing the psychedelics to influence you or bring out what needs to be. But if DMT already exists in us in its purest state, I don't need to go there. I might try it once. I'm not against it, but I don't support the abusive methods of that's what's being done now. Some people are using it for sexual connections and using and abusing women abusing men, and I just can't. I've been down the marijuana route, and I remember just smoking weed as a young child, and somebody disrespected my mother, and I went to go and kick their ass, male or female. I had no problem whooping somebody's ass or putting my foot to ass, whether you was a brother or a sister. Content disclaimer. The views, comments, and opinions expressed by guest speakers or authors on this YouTube channel do not necessarily reflect or represent the views and opinions held by this channel's broadcasters and its sponsors. Parental guidance is advised. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teachers, scholarship, education, and research. For fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringed. Hey, this is King Simon. Remember, make sure you go to my website, KingSimonProductions.wordpress.com. That's KingSimonProductions.wordpress.com, or Linktree at King Simon the Numeral Beta. Get all 4 of my books, and of course, that's the Numeral Beta for Mental Stability. Numbers are simple, people are complicated. Numbers are simple, children's health is important, and no promotion is bad promotion. Just spell my name right. Make sure you get them now on all my links. That's KingSimonProductions.wordpress.com. Go now.